I want to unpack true humility, some things that I had to learn in order to make sure that I am humble, which is a prerequisite. When you are a child of God, you need to be humble. These are a few of the things that I had to really think deeply about when I looked at whether I'm humble or not, because humility is so important. And so I'm on this camera, I'm also on this camera. Humility is so important because yeah, man, it's just one of the character traits of Jesus Christ, and we should always aim to be like Jesus. All right, so the first thing that I was very bad at was active listening. I used to be a very good listener growing up, and as an adult, but over the years, I just got impatient with people, and I just did not want to waste time listening to people who don't even deserve my ear. So what I would normally do is just act like I'm listening and move on, but not really take anything in. If I deem the person as less accomplished, less experienced, I would often dismiss them in my head already before they even finish their sentence, and then just listen to quickly respond so that we can move on from this conversation. But what I have learned is that true humility is when you are listening to understand someone and not really listening to just plan your next response. When someone is speaking, it's important for you to really give your full attention to them and to make them feel heard in the moment and make them feel like you are truly listening to them without interrupting them at all. Okay. You can also see when someone is not actively listening because they're always in a rush, and they you can see it in their face, in their aura, in the entire energy that they hold, that they're waiting for you to finish speaking. Okay, finish speaking, because I want to say what I want to say, and what you're saying now is just, you need to be grateful for the opportunity that you have, that I'm giving you, to be able to sit in my presence and take advantage of my ear, of my listening ear. So yeah, people who are humble are very keen to listen to others speak. They hold space, they make space for a conversation, they sit and they would ask questions for the person to speak even more, and not trying to interrupt or to fix anything or to make themselves look smarter or more informed, but just listen, man, just listening. And after listening, and the person can feel your energy and see that you're quite interested in them, it's very uplifting. Okay, it's very uplifting. And yeah, so that is one of the signs of a humble soul. A second sign is when someone is not afraid of admitting their mistakes. They can quickly and sincerely admit that they make mistakes without even excusing their own behavior. And they don't prioritize their own ego. They don't prioritize themselves being put on a pedestal. They can say, I was wrong, and that is a true sign of humility. It shows me that this person is more interested in the truth than they are in their own ego. All right. And then a third sign would be celebrating other people. It's a tough one for some people to celebrate someone else, praising someone else when they have achieved something, when they have obtained a new accomplishment, when they have been promoted. You need to feel actual genuine joy for that person, without making them feel diminished because of what they have accomplished, or without trying to diminish their moment in the spotlight. All right, so praising people for what they've accomplished is so, so important. And it shows that you are not threatened, it shows that you are inspired by them, and it also shows your humble heart, you know. And then a last sign that someone is humble is that they do a lot of behind the scenes work. They're not interested in the spotlight. They are doing the helpful, very helpful work, very necessary work that no one will sometimes get to see. Work that is often not rewarded, and yeah, just bringing value to a certain project or a certain place without wanting the spotlight, without wanting to be seen or wanting to get recognition for that. That is a sign of humility. While I'm saying this, there's also ways in which you are not humble at all, and or shall I say, ways or things that are often misunderstood. And when we want to understand true humility, we need to strip away all the false versions that the world wants to throw at us. When you are a humble person, it does not mean you are thinking poorly about yourself. It does not mean you feel sorry for yourself, you pity yourself. It does not mean that you are denying who you are and your value and your worth. You are denying the gifts that God has put on you. That is not humility. You're not thinking poorly of yourself. Also, what humility is not is when you see something wrong happening, something that is unjust happening, and you just leave it as is. That does not mean you are humble, because when we look at the Bible, Jesus was humble, right? He was humble, but when he went into the temple and people were making a lot of money in the temple on that day, he really drove out all of those people who were trying to make money. And he showed us in that moment that humility does not mean that you are a doormat for other people. It does not mean you are a doormat. A doormat. Okay. And also, when it comes to modesty, you know, some people like to pretend that they're modest. They often do some things by putting themselves down, and this often happens, you know. They put themselves down just so someone else can compliment them. They would say, no, my dress is not that pretty. No, this work is not that good. Just so that someone else can compliment them more, you know. And that's their way of fishing for compliments, which is actually them showing you that they are craving some reassurance from someone else, meaning they do not have that self-assurance, right? So that is also important. Those are the ways in which you cannot display humility, and it's often misunderstood as humility, but it's not humility at all. And so now that we know this, how can we start personally in our daily life? How can we start being humble? How can we start being humble in our everyday life? Guys, excuse the noise. We are living in a very busy section of the city. So how can we start to be humble in our current life? When you enter into a room, into an establishment, into a social gathering, when you enter into any place, please can you take the lowest seat intentionally? Okay? Please can you not fight to sit at the best seat? Please can you allow other people to speak first? Please can you allow other people to be in the spotlight, to take the lead? You know? Stop trying to correct people. And this is the biggest tell actually, that someone needs to tone it down a bit. Stop trying to correct people on minor errors. You know, in a setting, a public setting or a small setting, or even a social gathering, you always have that person, or you sometimes have that person that is always trying to prove that someone else is wrong and they are right, that someone else has made a mistake in something that they said, and they are doing it in front of other people. Or they are always trying to appear more informed than others within a social setting. And this is completely unnecessary. You don't need to be doing that at all. Okay, so stop trying to correct people on minor details in a social gathering where other people can see you. Perform anonymous acts of kindness. Do nice things without the world having to know. All right? Do nice things to other people without telling anyone else, because God sees everything. Pause before you speak. When you feel a sudden urge to share an achievement, a clever thought, or whatever, pause before you speak. I have often tried to share new information with someone, and I'm so innocent. I just want to share because I'm excited about the new information that I have gained. But on the other end, that person did not receive it in the way that I intended for it to be received, and it was seen as me trying to act better, perform better, trying to exert my own ego above theirs. So pause before you try to speak or share an idea, because how you share it and how you feel when you share it might not be how they take it. Okay, so I've spoken about a lot of things in this video, and I hope that it can be helpful, and I hope that we can really think about ways in which we can be humble. It's definitely work that I still need to do. There are some things here that I still need to think about in ways that I can implement it better, but humility is such a core character trait, and not enough people are speaking about it as they should. Thank you very much. See you in the next.